On this episode of Off the Beaten Path, we check out the Anthracite Model Railroad Society and their amazing model work. Chris takes his camera to the Boyertown Museum. Ken rocks out this holiday season with 1224. And the Off the Beaten Path gang has a special announcement. Pennsylvania is filled with interesting things. You just need to know where to look. Come with us right now as we go Off the Beaten Path. Today, I'm at the Anthracite Model Railroad Society here in Hazleton. Now, if you like model trains, this is the place to be. But you also will get a history lesson, too. That's right, all 2,000 square feet of this display is steeped in Pennsylvania history. The first thing I did was talk with John Simkovich, a member of the Anthracite Model Railroad Society, and I asked him, why trains?
My first Christmas or second Christmas that I was able to really realize what's going on. This happens to a lot of the members. Basically, Dad went and put the model train layout up in the house for Christmas, and I just fell in love with it. My great-grandfather worked for the Lehigh Valley Railroad, and he was a section foreman. All of a sudden, he's holding me, and next thing I knew, there's a freight train coming through town. I was a toddler, and all of a sudden my great-grandfather had a real hard time holding me. He weren't my dad. He says, Bernie, he says, I'm going to tell you something. Your kid likes trains. All I can say is God bless you.
Formed in 1990, the Anthracite Model Railroad Society boasts an impressive display of model trains and includes amazingly detailed versions of Pennsylvania towns.
We have the towns of Jim Thorpe, Hazleton, Weatherly, Grifton, Harley, and Eckley, and the fictional towns of Thole Valley and Cross Creek. Thole Valley is made to look like an old-time railroad town, and Cross Creek was made to look like an old-time logging town.
One of the amazing things about this display is the attention to detail. You can spend hours here just taking in all the detailed work. Most of the landscape, buildings, and people are all crafted by hand.
We have all the company homes. There's no kits for a company home. We looked all over, we searched the internet, there's no kits. What you're literally doing is taking a piece of wood, usually balsam wood, and taking that and constructing that into a home. Well, the Hazleton station, for example. That building does not have there's no kit for that. Now I like to talk about Hazleton, okay? We're from Hazleton. We have the different towns on there because of the fact you have to have someplace to go with a train. You just don't run around a circle. As far as the downtown area, well, the downtown Hazleton area, you could actually see the building in the background of me is actually the old Hazleton station. That's one of the key buildings on the layout. It's sort of like a kingpin. It was constructed by the gentleman who moved out of the area. He did a gem of a job doing it. Some of us provided plans. Another one of the members went and provided some pictures. We literally went and blew up the pictures, enlarged them so that the gentleman who built it could actually go ahead and count the bricks. And that's how they figured out the height. And a lot of the old timers would remember years ago, the Markle building actually had a big marquee on the top of it. Now we actually have cell phone antennas and whatever else on top of the building, but they actually had a marquee that actually said the Markle building. And that's the way, because it was 1945 that the layout is modeled after, that's the way they went and they built that building. We actually had one of the members went and constructed from blueprints the Eckley breaker. Okay, now a lot of people they go to the town of Eckley and they see the breaker over there, and that was actually the breaker that's there now was actually a film set for the Molly Maguire's movie, and he was able to construct it from a blueprint and old pictures, and he went ahead, he put them through and actually built the breaker from that.
The track that runs through most of the display is also laid down inch by inch by the club members. I can't even imagine placing these tiny railroad ties by hand.
About 80% of the track is laid by hand. But basically what happened there is we had members who came in at the old club. We had a member come in, he says, I want to put some hand-laid track in. Well, we didn't know how to trust it, so at the old club we said, yeah, okay, Dan, no problem. You can put your hand-laid track in. We gave him 3 sidings to put in. Off the main line. All the main line at the old layout was all Atlas track, all purchase track. You would purchase for your home layout. We realized that we had a craftsman, and when it came time to rebuild the layout, he says, guys, I'd like to go ahead and put a lot of the track in here. Now, the hand-laid track that we call it, it takes a lot more maintenance. Just like your guys in Norfolk Southern are out there. You see the little guys go by, or the guys go by with the track buggies, and you'll see them checking the track. Instead of us using a 30-pound spike and maul, you'll see our guys come in with a pair of tweezers or a pair of needle nose pliers. So we actually have guys who have actually modified pliers to make it easier to put the track in.
The handcrafted attention to detail is what really impressed me at the Anthracite Model Railroad Society. There are people in windows, a man selling hot dogs, an occupied outhouse, a model of a model like this man flying a model airplane. And check this out. Here are men coming back from a successful hunt. This part of the display is modeled from an actual photograph that features John's grandfather. If you'd like to visit the Anthracite Model Railroad Society, you can. Every year during the Christmas holiday, they hold an open house, and John tells me it's worth it for the kids.
The reactions to the children is what makes me want to do it even more. Because you see a little, especially a little boy, sometimes a little girl, you see them come in here and they get all excited. They're all excited. They come in and it's like their eyes open up like $2 silver, first of all. And you get them that they're jumping up and down. They're all excited. We've already had to stop trains where they couldn't see them so that mom and dad could take them home. I could think of one boy in particular. He is watching the trains go. He's walking around the layout, following the trains, and we didn't realize it's 8:45. Well, we were already open 8 hours, and it's like, when is this boy going home? So finally his father says, guys, you got to do something. My son won't leave until the trains stop. So literally we had to go ahead and stop the trains in the tunnel. And finally he comes on and he says, okay, Dad, we can go home now. Well, one of the guys happened to say, well, you know, just so you know, we're open tomorrow and Sunday. He says, oh, Dad, he said, we can come back.
For more information on the Anthracite Model Railroad Society, visit them online at amrsclub.org. Coming up next on Off the Beaten Path, Chris takes his camera to the Boyertown Museum.